Oh, right. You're first, yeah. Can you see how do I get the... I just want to try something, Donny. See that? Can you click on that? If you click on that, you might be able to get in. Sorry, everyone. Thank you for being patient. Yeah, how do we invite a guest, man? Oh, this is terrible for my first time. I wish there were people here that I know. Oh, here we are. Oh, no. It says I've got to use another format thing. This is where I get in trouble. Copy to clipboard. All right. Can you see any addresses there, Donny, that you can press on and get your body in here? What do we got there? Nope. Donny, where are you? He's going to have to ring me. Anyway, I'll keep talking about it and while we try to get him in here. I'm missing something. Oh, here we are. Extra camera. Nope. Share screen. Nope. All right. I presume he's going to ring me any second now, and he'll be on the phone going, oh, no, here he is, you beauty. I'll just let him in. Hang on. Oh, thank you, Creator. How you going, my brother?
All right, I've got to clean my camera because I can't see myself there. Look like
you got one of them filters on to make you look young. That's what it is.
Yeah. Hold on there.
You're right, my bro. What have we done here? No,
do a tissue type job.
How do I get this thing off screen? I've got comments up there, so hopefully if anyone's here, they comment nice. Please be nice. Oh, that's better. How you going, my brother?
That's
so
better.
I was telling the people how in Australia there's some really weird and wonderful things, and that's the name of our show. And that even in our culture, that we're actually, now Donny's here, we're going to introduce ourselves traditional way, so you'll get to understand. So, hey, my brother, can you introduce yourself how you would if you're introducing yourself to another black fella, and how we say who we are and stuff like that, and what your mom is, and then I'll do it.
Yeah, well, I'm Donny. I am one man. My skin is muddy, which is possum. How's that?
That's fine. And I'm a Radrick Milleroy woman, our goanna snake, water lily woman. So with our totems, that describes who we are. So when we talk about our skin or our land or our totem, we know where you come from, what you do in the mob and all that. So thank you for that, Donny. And I would like to acknowledge all the ancestors and all the lands that this is being heard in, just informally, because this is about weird and wonderful things. So my brother Donny, we'll get straight into it. In your journeys in the bush, how much weird and wonderful stuff have you come across that you're allowed to talk about?
You have to turn the volume up there, sis. I can't hear you.
I'm just doing that now. I realise. How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So when we're walking in the bush, you and me have both seen weird and wonderful things. That's how we become good friends.
You got that right there. Look.
Yeah.
See some weird stuff in the bush there, me.
Yeah. Often we don't have a camera or anything like that to show it at the time because we don't take photos of stuff for obvious reasons. So, all right, we'll start with local stuff, eh? Where you live, where I live, what's weird and wonderful around there. So, Donny's fortunate enough to still live where he was born.
Yeah.
So, the land there and knows him very, very well. Me, I kind of live where I was born, but the land knows me, but not as good as it knows Donny where he lives. And I've yet to get up there and have a look around myself. So, besides things like weird rocks and stuff that we find that don't belong in the bush because they're really, really big and square cut, we also have like cryptid animals, I suppose they would call them, but we don't. We just call them the others, like hairy man and stuff like that. So we've got two things that are wonderful out here. One lot are weird rocks and shapes of the land and building kind of things that don't belong here. Then we've got all the weird animals that they talk about that don't really exist, but do, don't they, Donny?
Oh, bloody oath. That's
So,
better. I can hear you now really good.
get me better. You had to getting old, mate. You had to put your hearing aid in.
Yeah. Now I feel really gulligai.
My mum's got a hearing aid, and when you sit there and you can hear like a radio, and you think, where's that coming from? And then as you go nearer, you can hear it buzz. It's like she's a part machine. It's really funny. Bless her, I love it.
Yeah. I was supposed to be having hearing aids on any rate there, sis, but I just couldn't be bothered.
Well, you got your earphones, you'll be right.
Yeah.
We can send you one. Remember them old-fashioned things where you put them on you? What do
you say there?
Yeah. All right, then. I can't get rid of this thing on the screen here. I forgot I put it on. So what do you want to talk about, Donny? Where do we want to start?
I really don't know yet.
Or living creatures. What's the
Hawkesbury River monster.
Oh, that's scary. You think, oh, right. We'll talk about Hawkesbury River. All right. I live near Hawkesbury River. Hawkesbury River monster. I'll tell you a story, and then you tell them what it is. So I went down there with a mate one day, and we're at the top of the mountains for the night, and it was a real hot day, so we decided the next morning to go down to the river, go for a swim. I've done it before, no problem. I love that place. So, but this day we're swimming around. It was pretty quiet. There weren't many boats on the water. A few people on the other side, up on the left-hand side. And I got this feeling, get out the water now. I'm thinking, what? I usually only get that when you're in the ocean and there's a shark coming, right? You get that weird feeling. Here I am in the river. I'm thinking there shouldn't be anything in the river. There's no crocodiles down here. And it came real strong. And while we were in there, her dog got in the water, swam round, and I looked at her dog and said, we got to get out. And the dog got out, and she's like, no, it's lovely. I'm going, I know it's lovely, but we got to get out. She weren't listening, so I got out really, really fast. And I'm looking around on the water thinking, what is there? You know, usually you'll see a sign of something. If there's fish, you get bubbles and all that. I couldn't see anything, but I could really feel this intense feeling to don't go in the water, don't go back in the water. Couldn't figure out what it was till I met Donny. So you take it from there, my brother.
Yeah, you know where Lower Portland is there, sis?
Yep.
Yeah, well, we were staying there at a bit of a motel type thing there. And anyway, I was out the front there on a bit of a veranda and looking at this ripple in the water. What the hell is that doing that for? Anyway, it was pretty clear at this time. And then I spotted it. It went past the speedboat. And it was bigger than the speedboat. As it glided along, it had a long neck, big flippers, big body, and it looked like it had a tail, like a flipper for a tail. And I think, no, that's not a bunyip, is it? And I said, I refuse to go down near that river there. No, you can't go down there. There's no good that place there. Anyway, then I was watching a show one time there later on, and the creature they were pointing to, it looked like Nessie. And here I'm thinking it might have been a bunyip, but it was Nessie. The Aussie version on old Nessie there, that fella. And I believe there's also rock art there around there somewhere of that creature. Yeah, I think you showed me there.
I did. And if I knew how to share my screen, I'd show everyone else, but you have to wait Wait a while for that. Yeah, well, when I heard that story and I realised what it was in the river, because here there's no crocodiles down here in New South Wales. They're all up in Queensland. There's nothing in the water except for an eel down here that would bother you. So there was no reason at all for me to feel that. And yeah, when Donny told me that story, I just got chills because I realised that's what it was. It had come up. It was a quiet day and it had come up. I haven't been back there since. Yeah, I haven't been back there since. So
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, moving on. So we got water creatures. And for everyone out there too, a bunyip, Donny, they might not know what a bunyip is.
It lives in water holes up around this way. They call them water dogs. Not everyone calls them bunyip. We call them water dogs up around this way. They're creatures that live in the deep holes, billabongs, lagoons, if you want to call it. They come in various shapes and sizes. As the old story used to go, there were shapeshifters. Is that the right word there, Luna? Shapeshifters?
For something, one thing that can change to another. Yeah, that's the right.
Yes, yeah. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
They can be scary. The only way you can actually tell there's a bunyip in that hole is every now and then, as you look across the surface of the water, you'll see a little tiny rainbow. And then you know there's a spirit in that water. And you don't go in there when that little rainbow there, because he's telling you, don't go in there. Shouldn't be going in there at all. Because that's our water dog's land, our water. And you've got to stay away. It's more about respect than anything else when you go on country. Yeah. Have you ever seen that little tiny rainbow?
Yes.
Sis?
Yes, I have, brother.
Yeah.
I've seen it in
you know there's a spirit in that water, eh?
Yeah. I saw it at Uluru and I've seen it down here at the river.
Yeah.
I've seen weird stuff down. I'll tell you a little story about the river. Down here, I went for a walk one day and I'm looking from the bridge, looking down at where most people don't go. And I saw, it looked like a white paper bag, like a paper bag floating around the water. And I first thought, oh, someone's polluted it. And then something said, keep watching. So I kept watching and it started moving and separating and doing all this weird stuff. And I'm thinking, plastic bags can't do that. And it would go away and come together and separate and move. And it just started to move off down the river in the reeds. And I'm thinking, I had no idea what it was. I just observed. Whatever it wasn't a plastic bag. And it had enough intelligence to move around. I don't know what it was, Donny, really. I just see a lot of things and go, yep, okay, and accept them for what they are. So, yeah, I don't know what those could have been a spirit in the water, which actually made more sense to me. It was like, oh, yeah, if that's a spirit in the water moving around under like that and moving upstream, I could see that because there's a lot of old history here.
Yeah. Yeah, there is water spirits in there because I can tell you a little story.
Yep. You do that while I try this thing here.
Yeah. Well, the story went like this. I took my boy down fishing with me. And I said to him, go down to that river. I said, you go to ask them old water spirits down there, can you take 10 eels out of that river? And he said, oh, no, go away with your dad. You've been silly. No, go and do it. So he went down that water and he asked old water spirits, can he take 10 eels out of that river? And that night, he caught 10 eels. After that, after the 10th eel, all the fish went off the bite. And he never caught anything else. And he said, you're right, Dad. He said, they only gave me 10 eels. I said, now go down that river I said, now thank them. So he went down the river. He thanked me. And he said, what did you do that for, Dad? And I said, this is to teach you not to be so greedy when you come up bush. You only take what you need, not what you want. And always give back to our mother when you get a chance to. And that's the story, how it
That's
went.
a good story. Yeah, we teach our children from young. I even do it at the shop, you know, Donny. That's how much ingrained with my kids and our family. If there's a nest of eggs, like you're saying, you only take so many and you leave some for the nature and some for someone else. When we go down the shop, especially at Christmas time when everything gets bought off and they love like eggnog or something like that, and if there's only 3 there, they see it and it's like, oh, they know not to take all of them because they think of somebody else. Yeah, that's a good lesson, that one. That's what our country was based on.
Yeah, hold on a sec. I've got to go and make myself a cuppa there. Look.
Yeah, you was getting dry mouth. Yeah, talking too much.
Getting a dry mouth there. Look, me.
Yeah.
Wait a sec.
I think this is the most anyone's ever heard Donny talk. Go and get your cuppa.
I heard that.
Yeah, I know. You're meant to. Go and get your cuppa. So yeah, water spirits. Here, there's a lot of things we can sing to the water. We do stuff like that. The fish in the water will tell you stuff. They'll come to you and tell you stuff. And in the old days, I don't think there's any left now, but around an area like down here near the river, you'd find a rock somewhere with a carving on it, and it'd tell you what was in the river. You'd have carvings of different fish and eels and stuff like that, and when you saw that, you knew that in this river near me, that's what you'll get out of it. And when you fish, you only fish for what you need, and you leave the rest. He's back. I'll tell him what I was talking about.
How do you bloody
I was just telling him about. Yeah, I was just telling him about in local area in Old Way, you'd find a rock near the water or just before you got to that area that would tell you what was in the water for eating. So it'd have a picture of the fish or eel or whatever. And that's how you know you're in the feeding area. It'd be drawn. It would be like anything else. It was a sign to say this is the food in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very much like that. A big shopping centre, wasn't it? The traditional way, you just get you a dilly bag, what I've got behind me. Yeah, and these things here, you grab one of them, go shop it and walk around the bush, get your fruit, get your veggies, get your meat, and then come back to the campground and we all have a feed.
A big feed.
Yeah, imagine it like that now, eh?
Yeah, it would be bloody beautiful.
Yeah. But we have laws about walking around in the bush, don't we, brother?
Yeah. Well, there's some places you shouldn't go. You should not go. Yeah. It's like I said before, it's all about respect.
And so yeah, because there's things out there besides hairy men and things like that. There's places that you go that have been used for thousands of years, and they'll send you crazy if you're not welcome to be there. We call it Womba. Yeah, we call it Womba. And what can it be like? How can we explain that to them? Tell me.
It's sort of like going bush crazy.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say it's like having a spirit harassing you 24/7, telling you you've done the wrong thing, sending you crazy till you do the right thing, kind of.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Or apologise.
Yeah, or do some action to show that you respect what you're being respectful, or you didn't understand the knowledge of what to do in that place. And that's all it is. You just got to call it out too. I'm sorry, I didn't understand what I was supposed to do here, or I didn't understand where I was, or something like that. And the spirits of the area will forgive you depending on how bad you did a thing. Because I've run into some people, Donny, they done really naughty stuff, and I actually got cranky because I had to fix it. It was like, you got me to fix that? It was really bad. Some things were really bad. Some things
Yeah, yeah, like me, there one about 9 months ago, and I was pre-warned, and I didn't ignore it. I know I did ignore it because had to go out to a site, and the first thing that happened, the archaeologist got the four-wheel drive bog, and we got it out of there. That was the first hint. The second hint was the archaeologist nearly ran over a lollipop man. And the third one was most important, which I should have turned around and said, "No, take me home." The smoking ceremony, the leaves wouldn't burn. Couldn't get it burned properly. Anyway, we went on to this site, and it ended up being a woman's site. And after that, I had a heart attack.
I remember that, Donny.
Yeah. One of the girls that was there, she got lost. Big fog come down everywhere. And, mate, you couldn't see anything. And one of the girls got lost. And eventually the fog cleared. And as I was going out, I said to one of the ladies that were there, I said, "Oh, I'm getting a crook here. I want to go home." So I went home, and they punished me, but also they saved me at the same time because I had to drive past where that place was. And as soon as I went there, my first heart attack stopped. And they saved me. And then I had my second heart attack, and that's when I went to hospital. Then I know that I was on the wrong side. I shouldn't have been there. And to this very day, I still accept my punishment for going onto that site.
Yeah. We I think all us blackfellas at a point where we've had to accept punishment for something like we've done because we've been a bit disconnected. I want to tell everyone that here in Australia for us blackfellas is very hard because what Donny does for a job, and other people I know, they've got jobs that send them to places where we ordinarily wouldn't go. But because you've got a boss and you're on pay time, they'll say, "Go there and do this." You get there and realise, "Oh, I shouldn't be here." But in reality, in real life, for people like Donny and others, what are they going to do? That's their bread and butter. So they cop their punishment, and it can take life. We're trying to, a lot of us are trying to change that at the moment and get them to listen to us about these places when no one's, you're not supposed to go there, bad things will happen. As everyone's getting more aware in the world, they're starting to listen to us a little bit, but not enough.
No.
And there's people that work in services and that, and they're sent out to buildings and that they shouldn't go in, and weird stuff happens. And it is actually a big problem for our people that work in these buildings, and we're trying to overcome them. So just to explain that. So Donny's exposed to this stuff all the time.
Yeah. Yes. And like it should be a protocol. If it feels like you shouldn't be there, you shouldn't be there. If you go on to country, you should do ceremony when you come off country, especially sacred country. You got to do ceremony. And that should be the protocol. There should be a woman's sites officer and a men's sites officer, and nothing in between. Men can't go on the women's sites, women can't go on the men's sites. And they need to know that, but they don't seem to understand it. They just go for that practicality, not that spirituality type thing.
Yeah. It's the money aspect and the job. And for those that don't know, in our culture we have men's business and women's business. and then community business. So the men go and do their business, the women do their business, and come together as a community, or children and old people all together. In this day and age, even that's being threatened. And we have yet that to come across as the world changes, and we need to hold fast. And don't think that because we have men and women's business, we're not like mainstream. Our men and women, we're matriarchal people, and our men and women stand side by side. So we're not dominated. And the men often, in traditional way, would do stuff and then come and ask us elder women if it's okay and if there's anything they've overlooked or anything like that, and then they'll express their concerns or positiveness against, to the men, and then they'll go off and do it. So it's always been checked. And it's very strict. I'll tell you a story about women's area. I can't tell you about men's, obviously. Well, I can, but there's something happening, but I'm not allowed to tell anyone. So, and you'll find that too, if you in the future when you talk to me and Donny and others, there are things that we can't tell you about for reasons, and we might have a show about that, about what are the reasons and how come. So the woman's thing, I was out in property. There was, how many of us were there? There was at least about 15 people, men and women and children, a couple of children, mostly men and women. And we all decided to go for a walk. So we're going for a walk, and beautiful place, beautiful, real calm and serene. There's a river there. And we're walking along, and somehow the women started walking in front, and the men were just behind us. You know how you slowly mosey along and everyone's chatting away. And then all of a sudden we got to one point and the men stopped dead in their tracks. Now, they didn't even know that they weren't walking anymore. They were still talking to each other and looking at each other and talking. And the women were still talking to each other, walking. I just observed, I felt the line that we went over, kind of. So anyway, I said, hey, the women, hey, check this out. And we all turned around. Here's the men still talking to each other, not even realizing that we're like a bit away now, and they're still standing in that same position talking, because they couldn't cross that line, and it was unconscious because their conscious mind was talking to each other. And it took a few minutes for them to stop talking and look at us and think, why are you up there? And then they kind of looked at the ground, looked at each other, and my husband said, this is women's area, we've got to go. And they left, and us women kept going and found it was a women's birthing area that we found. It was beautiful. But that's how strong the invisible lines are in the ground. Now, for that one of them men was to push the boundary and go into that area, like Donny, they would have got really sick. They could have died, depending on your attitude and your heart, where your heart is. So that just explains a little bit about men and women's business and stories. And you can get special dispensation depending on who you are, how old you are, and what you do. Strict rules we have, but it's all for good reasons. And in the coming shows, hopefully, we'll talk about them, and there'll be other stuff too, because there's other people I want you to meet, subjects we want to touch on. But back to what we're doing. So yeah, men and women's area, and that's not the first time you've had to go into women's area, is it, Donny?
No, actually, I had to go on it quite a few times, but they weren't as powerful as the one I went on the last time, because that's it was a birthing area.
Yeah. Some areas are stronger than others. Yeah.
But there is other women's sites around. I've actually been on it a few times, and I ended up with massive headaches because we was at a site there, not that far away from me, down over the mountain, and I was with a fella there, and I said, "You got a headache?" And he says, "Yeah, I got a headache." He says, and we kept walking, and he says, "Geez, this headache getting worse." And I'm looking at the area, and I said, "Oh, wait a minute there. We're on a bloody women's site here." And he looked up and down, and he says, "Yeah, we are on a women's site. As soon as we left that site, the headache's gone."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. Yeah, well, there's another story I want to tell you, but they're like, don't say, I'm not allowed to tell you because it involves other people, and it was pretty serious. And it was to do with men. They went into men. All I can say is they went into men's area and did stuff when they shouldn't have, and they took a lot to fix. So, but we have common area, community area for men and women and children and all that, and that's a whole different story. That's about everybody. Usually we don't say much about men and women's business because there's lines that we don't want to cross out of respect, and we don't want to get into trouble. So then, and there's not only just men and women's business areas, brother. There's like places that are highly spiritual and have been used by the spiritual elders, and you're not supposed to go there because of the energies are delicate, and if you do taken there by somebody and have permission to go there.
One place that you should not go to, whatever, with no circumstances whatsoever. It's called a clever people's area. If you've got a clever people's area around there, do not go there. Pretty powerful magic there. Yeah. There's also other sites. There's initiation area. And that's where boys turn into men and girls turn into women.
Yep.
And all that. So there's just not men's sites and women's sites. There's initiation sites. There's boys to men sites. There's girls to women's sites.
Burial sites.
Yeah, burial sites.
Again, they're similar under the same laws.
Yes.
Then we even got special places where we know the others go. And you've got to be careful going there because that can send you womba too. Because they're supernatural, would you say, Donny?
Them's from the other side.
Them's from other places.
One of the other words, them from the other side.
Others, they're from,
Yeah.
Other from us.
Yeah.
Other from us, right? Yeah. That's their place. You don't go there.
While
we're talking about that, can we talk about the hairy men? Because they're other from us. And there's places we don't go because we know they're there out of respect.
Yeah, out of respect. And which, yes, they need to understand that they're the other mob. How would you put it in another word? They're the keepers of the bush. Another word you could use. They look after the bush. The other thing I don't like that people do is these so-called researchers, researchers or hairy men researchers, chasing them all through the bush. They don't like it. I wouldn't like it if somebody would chase me through the bush all the time when I'm trying to have my own peaceful life.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and they need to have that respect, and they need to be protected. Because the old hairy man, it's the last people of the bush. And after they're gone, there's nothing else. Yeah. I hope they don't try to put them in commission houses.
Commission house, government housing. That's funny. Poor darlings, and they'll make them wear clothes.
Yeah, make them wear clothes like they did to us.
Yeah.
Put them in commission houses. Yeah.
Hopefully they get that far. I really feel that our species is responsible for annihilating their species.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. I found these awesome pictures of hairy men and the others from medieval time and stuff, but I've got to figure out how to share the screen. Hey, I'll get round to it. Hey, there'll be no stopping me.
Yeah, we're not all that tech savvy, are we?
Oh, look how far I got, brother. I got this far. You're talking to me, aren't you?
I don't know how he got here. Look, me.
That's it. You got here too, so we have to actually. For me and Donny, the journey's been really long. It started with a good brother of ours we call Captain, who's no longer with us, and we were not tech savvy. I'm telling you, we didn't even know. I didn't even know how to do anything. Neither did Donny, but because
I didn't know how to use the on button.
The on button.
About the,
And in the last couple of years, we've progressed to this. I know it's slow, but that's us black fellas. We take the time. Yeah, we've come a long way since them days.
Oh, yeah.
And while I'm here, I just want to pay respects to all those that we've lost in the last few years, and may Creator hold them tight. So yeah. But we've come a long way, brother. We can't say we're silly anymore.
No. We're not silly Billy anymore, eh?
Not Nurriga. Nurriga is.
Yeah, no, not Nurriga no more.
So what level are we at, computer-wise? I'd say we're not halfway.
I think we just stepped out of kindergarten.
We just left kindergarten in the tech world.
Yeah.
We'll go to local school and say, hey, those classes, how do we do this?
Yeah, bloody have.
So we'll go back to looking around the weird and wonderful things in the bush. Can you tell us about those little friendly lights that come to visit you?
Oh, I call him Min Min.
Yeah.
You know, Min Min, yeah. He come every now and then, he come up and he visits me. And he'd go outside there. I'll be outside there. And then all of a sudden I get this flash. I look up. Oh, Min Min come back. Because he followed me all the time, that Min Min. And he just tell me that he's still there and he's watching me. And the first time I seen him, Min Min, he was down at a place called Keep It Dam. I was going down there late at night, and that's the first time I ever seen a black rainbow. I thought, that's unusual. Why would I go and see a black rainbow like that? And that night we were going along, and the fellow was with me. He said, have a look at this. And he turned this light on over there, and he shined it at this star. And he flicked the light on and off. And that star done the same thing and went down behind the mountain. And I said to the fellow, let's get out of here. Let's go home now. I think we better go home now. And that was the first time I actually met that Min Min light. Ever since then, every now and then he turn up telling me that he's still around and he's watching me. See, I'm doing the right thing.
Things that watch us.
Right?
The things that watch
when you come up, I'm going to show him you.
I know,
when you
I was
come
just
up,
about to say
I'm going to show him, do you?
I've got to go. That's what he said. When you come up, go out, look at them. I'm thinking, they're either going to look at me and run away or they're going to take me away. How are you going to explain that missing time to Carl now, eh? I don't know, mate. She just disappeared.
Yeah.
No, that's good. We'll sit there at the campfire all night, eh? And they'll be whispering, they think we're coming. We're going to stick them.
Yeah. He'd be hiding behind the tree there watching us and laughing. These fellas here are waiting on me.
They do that. That's a tricky spirit, see? Tricky spirits. Hairy man and tricky spirits because they can disappear, reappear.
Yeah, they can cloak themselves. They can talk to you in your head.
Telepathy.
Yeah, they talk to your head. They can give you thoughts, things that shouldn't be there or should be there. The cunning fellas, they're pretty good at doing this. I reckon they should have, if there was a Olympic Games of hide and seek, they'll take the gold medal every time.
And you wouldn't even. They would.
Yeah.
And you could give them a test and they'll cheat because they'll tell each other the answers and you wouldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're cunning too, because there's some are good and some are bad, like you get in humans. You get them all the time, and some are good, some are bad. But I can tell you a story that my niece told me. Her husband, he got bogged way out in the bush up in Queensland there. Hopelessly bogged in his old car. And so there were 5 of them in the car. And they said, bugger it, we'll just camp tonight here. So they all crawled in the car, went to start going to sleep, and about a couple of hours later, they felt the car jolt. They started moving. So he grabs the headlights and turns them on, and there's this old hairy man pushing the car out of the bog for him. And as soon as they got it out of the bog, they took off. And I think they got a bigger fright than the old hairy man did.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember her telling me that story.
I know.
That's what happened.
They got told me there were a group of fellas, they were out in the bush.
Yeah.
And they decided just to sleep in the car for the night. So they ended sleeping in the car. They're near the road. And they heard shuffling noises going around the car. And then they heard a bit of a bang bang, and they woke them up, like they were starting all to wake up now, and they're freaking out. And they're going, stay in the car because you don't know what it is, right? Then the next thing, the car started they were shaking the car like this, right? And the guys, fellas in there were shitting themselves. Anyway, so all that happened, and it went on for a few minutes, and then it went dead quiet. Yeah. And they all sat there and waited for a while, thinking, what do we do? And then one of them said, I think they're gone, just let's get out and have a look. And they went, rightio. So they got out, and as they turned around and looked at the car, all the tyres were gone. It's a joke. The tyres off. The tyres off. It's a joke, bro. I got that told to me. I'm thinking, oh, it's a hairy man. Then they go, the tyres are missing. I mean, someone flogged the tyres. No, but it's true. Like, when you go out there, you can feel them looking at you too, Donny?
Yeah, well, you always can tell when the old hairy man around, because the bush go dead quiet, completely quiet. No wind, no animals, no birds, no nothing. And you know there's an hairy man around there. He's watching you. And he give you heebie-jeebies if you're not used to it.
Yep. We had a property once, and we had the hairy man on there. They lived there with us. Everything was all good until somebody came up and done some stuff with energy that they shouldn't have. And we heard them one night crashing the trees down. And then the goannas came into where we were staying and wrecked our stuff. And I said to Carl, someone's done something wrong here. We can't stay here anymore because they're angry. So we left, so no one could go there because there was no one there before. We came for years and years and years and years. So, and we come in and it was all right while we were there, but it was the other people that come behind us. And when we weren't there, what they were doing, that made the mischief. So, we closed it down. They were pissed off, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Doing the wrong thing up bush there, look.
They were doing very much the wrong thing. And I wasn't responsible. Hey! So I didn't get into trouble, not me.
Yeah. Oh, there's another story for you too, there, sis.
Can you tell them what that Jillawa, bro? Because I really need to go.
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, I'll see if I can yarn away here and waiting for you. Go on. All right. Looks like I got the lead here now, look. Well, my cousin there, he went up bush there tracking one of them hairy mans. He tracked him for about 3 miles. He said, I followed him through the bush, and he said, as soon as I got a glimpse of him, he said, he just went, poof, totally disappeared in front of me. Couldn't find no more track, couldn't find no more hairy man. And to this day, he said, I don't know how he disappeared, but he disappeared. And he said it just like he blended into the bush. Yeah. Yeah. My first time I ever come across a hairy man was 11-year-old. I was walking down railway tracks, and me and my brother, and this big old hairy man, he screamed at us. And we threw everything down on the ground and took off up and was heading home and didn't want to come back until the next day and come and get our gear. But it can be frightening, old hairy man. Hurry up, Luna. I keep forgetting now what I was going to say next. So you have to put up with me for a while, eh? Oh, well, never mind. We all get there. I'm right a bunger now. I'm going to smoke till there with me.
I was back, brother. I was back.
Yeah, that's all right, because I
remember another
what was
story.
going to...
Sorry, Ben, what was that?
I forgot was run out of words, me.
You ran out of words because you're talking to yourself.
Yeah.
You're talking to good people that are listening and watching.
Yeah.
I remember another story about men's area, because where I live in that direction, there is men's area. And when I first came, I had, I mean, girls were young. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Yes. You want to say hi?
No.
Oh. Can you make me a cup of tea, please? Yeah, when they were young, I took them for a walk, and the dog I had was a female also. So we're walking that way down the river, never been there before. And we're walking down, and the dog's sort of going, "Urgh," and I'm thinking, oh, the energy feels funny here. I wonder what it is. And we walked a little bit more, and then I said to the girls, there's something not right here. I think we better turn around and go home. As we turn around, everything looked different to the way we come in, and it looked like the trees come across the pathway like this and covered it, and it looked like we were somewhere else, right? And I'm thinking, how can that be? Because we just turned around. We didn't go off the path in any way.
Yeah.
And I looked at the dog because, dogs know the trail. They know their way around better than humans most of the time. And I looked at her, waiting for her to show me the way out, and she just went, like that. And I thought, oh, we're in the shit. Because I knew as soon as the dog didn't know where we were lost. How could we be lost? We were just walking up the pathway. And I'm looking at the trees, I'm thinking, what's going on here? And then it dawned on me. And I went to the girls, we're in men's area. And I just yelled out, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I'm new to this place, and what as you do. And I told them who I was and stuff. Then all of a sudden, the trees come apart like this. And even the dog looked at me, and her tail, when they're happy and they run off, the tail went up in the air. She was happy because she was worried that we couldn't get out. So it opened up, and we quickly walked out, and I don't go there anymore.
No.
I tell them not to go there either. So I sent men up there, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't go there. Not when that was really profound to see the trees cross like
Yeah.
and for the dog to react that way. And I've seen trees move before like that, but not to the point where they've changed the surroundings and locked me in and I'm somewhere else. It looked like we were somewhere else. Yeah.
You're lucky you weren't 411 there, look.
Yeah. Well, I had my kids, man. That's why I was freaking out. Because, mate, and my dog, So,
you're going wrong spot. You would end up being one of them 411.
Carl would have had no family instantly.
Yeah. He would be bachelor again.
Hairy man, help me.
He bachelor then.
Yeah. I hear them sometimes, the hairy men. They showed me they do this big walking around, and when they come back in close, I can hear them, and then they go off. Yeah, they haven't come since the fires, but they told me.
Have you had rock cracking yet? Heard the lot of rock cracking?
Nah.
Yeah, I hadn't. I heard old Bullimer with me. He heard it too. Yeah.
Right.
Because it was down here, the place we call Bigfoot. And
speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, it speaks for itself, eh? And anyway, I was down there fishing. and we were up on a rock there, and I had a line in the water, and I heard this click, click like this with the rock. And one come from that direction. Then I heard click, click coming from that way in front of me. And I'm thinking, so what's that bloody noise? Then I heard another one that off to me right side of me. And he going click, click. And old Burma there, he looking around, he trying to pick up that noise where it's coming from. And I said to old Burma, I said, I think these fellas here don't want us here at the moment. So I packed up and left. And I said, it's all yours, you can have it now. So I went and jumped in the old ute and went home with the old Burma. Yeah, I remember that quite well. The other one they'll do too is they'll get a stick and they'll find a hollow log and they'll flog it. Thump, 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 thump. And that's how they used to communicate with each other over long distance. They still do it now.
And they break the branches. You can tell by the
branches.
Yeah.
They break branches. And sometimes you'll come across a tree that's broken 8 feet up and come back down. That's a ceremony because that means healing. When they do that and they break the branch 8 feet up and bring them down to the ground, that's their ceremony. Say healing. And sometimes you'll come across a tree that's shaped like a big arch, like that. And if it's in front of it, there's a little green tree, that's sunrise. And if it's back of it, there's a dead log lying on the ground, that's sunset. And then you'll come across a tree that is shaped like that. That means to travel through. So that's your travelling path through there. And then sometimes you'll come across little sticks on the ground that's shaped like Chinese writing. That's how they write to each other. Yeah. They do a lot of things like that. And I found something out there also too. They like the taste of bamboo.
Like pandas.
Huh? Yeah, like pandas. They like the taste of bamboo. Because the old hairy man down here over the mountain here, and there's a big clump of bamboo on the side of the road, and every now and then you see a stick or one or two sticks missing out of the bamboo clump. That's how I know they like bamboo. Like chewing on it, like chewing gum. Yeah, they like the taste of it.
Yeah. And we have different kinds, don't we? Different kinds.
Mm-hmm.
We have big ones.
You got the big old hairy man. You got the little fellow, one that everyone says he looks like an Ewok.
An Ewok?
Yeah.
It's funny, you know, when you see them in the movies, the others in the movies. Have you noticed how many of them it's like, yep, that one's real, that one's real. Some of them actually feel like the Ewok, like it's based on something real. Hey, it's just TV, it's not true.
Well, I was told that story there that, you know, that Chewbacca on Star Wars.
Yeah, he looks like a hairy man.
Yeah, well, actually, what I was told about it is the bloke who actually designed him actually seen a hairy man. That's how he designed him. Yeah. That's the story.
Colored. Yeah, because some can be dark, black, like us, you know. Like red, brown, black.
Yeah, the different facial features. Some look like gorilla, some look like human, some look like something else, and they don't all look the same.
No, they don't. They don't look all the same. And
yeah.
I don't know if I should say this, but when I get on Google Maps and look around, the first time I did it, I'm looking at it, I'm going, it looks like a gorilla. And then I'm thinking, hang on, this is Australia, we don't have gorillas. So I went to Africa and I went over the landscape to find a gorilla, and I found one with a, it was, we had a younger one with it, and I had a look to see what it looked like, and I thought, yeah, that's a gorilla, this is Africa, rightio. Then I went back to Australia, and I'm looking at what I'm looking at going, well, that has to be a hairy man. And then it's got no tail, so it ain't no kangaroo or wallaby, right? Because that's what you got to look for. You'll see something hairy there, and you'll think, oh, it's a hairy man. But if it's got a tail, it's a kangaroo or wallaby. You're looking at the right thing. But yeah, if you've got an eye for it. And what I found, they're always like near water, and they're always near old places, old special places.
Yeah, special places. Yeah, they are. I noticed that up around here.
Yeah, it's like they still inhabit them areas.
Yes.
Yeah, and like people really have to think about it, because we do live with these beings, and we're pushing them out of their habitats. That's what this is. With our progress.
Progress.
I wonder how many times the hairy men, as a family, like generational, have seen humans rise and fall. Because I'm sure
probably a lot of times.
Great grandfather told me about a time when the humans had a civilization similar to, like, they talk, they probably do it in their language or through the mind, but they would have watched civilizations come and go, all over the world. I'm talking about, not just here in Australia.
No. I reckon they got off the boat 780,000 years ago.
Was that a sky boat or a water boat?
Sky boat. Sky boat. Come down the mountain.
Sky boats, you got to remember, if I got on a flying craft in Australia and you'd never seen that flying craft before, and I travelled all the way over to the northern hemisphere of the world and went to a country there and landed, they'd think that I come from the sky.
Yes.
I come from somewhere else, yeah. So keep that in mind, people, when you see things in the sky. They're not always from the sky. They've got to come from somewhere, right? And I ain't always in, just because you see them up there. So the hairy men came, and we come after the hairy men, didn't we, bro?
Yeah.
Hey, because I thought, hey, are we related to them anyway? And then I thought, oh, we've got a lot of hair missing, right? But then I thought there are some people, especially men, that are really hairy men. I've seen some blokes, they're really hairy. Even for other men, they go, wow, you're really hairy. And sorry if you're one of these hairy men. I'm not having a go at you. I'm just saying that if a human can hold that capacity of hairiness, are we related to them somehow? Are we cousins?
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
It's been proven, scientifically proven, that hairy man is part human. With over America there, with some lady, what was her name? Dr. Melba Catchin. And she done a DNA thing on them, and they are part human and part hairy man.
Yeah.
You on that pewter there?
Yeah, Rodman just dropped in. G'day, Rodman. How you going? Thanks for dropping in. It's Aussie time. See, we're doing Aussie time stuff.
Is that Rodman? Hey, brother, how you be?
You. I don't know how to see other than what's in front of me, but when I'm on everyone else's show, I go to YouTube and just keep it quiet so I can see Dave's screen. Buzz, Buzzacino, you're awake. Thank you for joining us. Cool.
No, that didn't work.
Thank you for joining our first show. I lost Donny. Donny, come back. I'm going to have to invite someone else in. Donny, come back, please. He'll be back in a second because we're having a really good conversation. I hope everyone's enjoying it. I'll just say good day, guys, in case you didn't hear me. Yeah, so hairy man, he's quite prevalent. There's different sizes. Usually it depends on the bush where they are. So if it's short little trees, little people. We have really big, thick forests, and you can imagine how big they would grow out there, especially on top of mountains and stuff. So, yeah, the Bigfoot could have been the smallest giants, yeah. Oh, Donny's back, cool. You there, my brother? Here.
Yeah.
There, you're back. Yeah, I was just talking about the sizes. When it's small bush, they're small people. When it's big, thick, tall trees, they're tall people. And Buzz has just put in the chat there that maybe Bigfoot are the smallest giants that escaped gone wild. I think, yeah, they're the species they kept away from us. That's how they've survived. They keep away from us as much as they can, and I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, if I were hairy man, I would stay away from bloody humans too.
I heard there's a sign out there up in the sky, and it says, humans enter at own risk.
So who else is on there with you there, sis?
Oh, we got Buzz and Ken Rodman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we had someone else listening. Yeah, we got a listener.
Oh, I got a listener. Yama listener.
Yama, everyone in the chat room that I can't see, sort of only can. Once I get used to this, it'll be better. But thank you for joining us. I think it's awesome. Hang on. I hope I haven't obstructed my screen. I get real nervous pressing all these buttons.
Yeah, well, I just pressed the wrong button. I got myself out of there somewhere.
That's all right, you're back. So where were we? We've still got time. We're on the hour now. We've been doing it for 1 hour. Did you want to make a quick cuppa or something, Donny? Seems we're at the hour. I've got one later. Hey,
no, I'll be up all night there even drinking tea and coffee and then carrying on like a pork chop.
If I want a cuppa, I'd go on live stream, see?
Yeah, I'll finish my cover.
You finish yours?
Yeah. Just got to see if I can reach way over here.
All right, so the hairy fellas, anything else we need to say? I have a couple other stories.
Yeah.
Me and Carl were looking at properties one time, and we drove into this beautiful place. There were horses on there. We drove up the back of the property and turned right, and there was water, beautiful cascading water. And Carl had a call of nature. And he goes, all right, so we stopped the car, and there was a horse near the water. Like as we come around the bend, just behind us, lost sight of him, but he was there having a drink. And Carl went and did his business. I got out the car and looked around thinking, this is beautiful. Then all of a sudden I heard that horse I just mentioned pig rooting and snorting and carrying on, and I'm thinking, oh, snake must have come, right? And I said, Carl, snake must have scared that horse there. So we jumps in the car and drove around the corner to have a look, and the horse is just freaking bolted like this. Anyway, no snake, I couldn't see any, and the trees started moving, and we're like, what's in the bush there? So we drove up, and as we drove towards it, it started moving faster and it was knocking the trees down, and we still couldn't see what it is. It was kind of behind the tree line running in the bush. And so Carl pedal to the metal, and we're driving up this road in line with this thing pushing these trees down. So it was pretty fast because we were in the car moving forward. Yeah. And these trees are knocking, and then all of a sudden it stopped. So we stopped, and I figure it's either stopped and it's looking at us, or it's stopped and we've gone up the hill. So we got out the car, and I get out, hey, whatever you are, how you going? You know, I'm sorry if I've disturbed you, blah, blah, blah. But everything was just quiet, just stood there, and I said to Carl, that's enough, let's go. But something weird happened as we drove out and we're driving up the road. You know when you're in the car, Donny, and someone in the back seat opens the back door and closes it, and you hear that whoosh of air because you're driving. Yeah. You know that? And it's usually the kids, and you go, shut that door, right? It was like that, but there was only me and Carl in the car.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And I said to him, did you hear the back door open? He goes, yeah, I did. And I went, there's something, like there was nothing visually that you could see with your naked eye, but obviously something had opened the door and jumped in. So I figured whatever being it was that was running through that bush there was invisible now and just jumped in the back of the car. So here's me sitting there as cool as cucumbers. Oh, how you going? I hope we didn't upset you. Have you got a message for us or something? And this thing goes, yeah, there's a circle of white rocks and you have to go there. And I'm like, whoa. And I said, I was relaying the message to Carl. I said, we got to go to the circle of white rocks. It's up here on the right, apparently. So we did what this thing said. I said, we're going. It jumped out. The door went swoosh again and it jumped out. And we went up the road and walked into someone's property and just kept walking. And guess what I found? A circle of white rocks. So, and that's all I can say about that story now. So that was a lot younger then. So whatever that was, that could have been a hairy man. It could have been just another being. It could have been an other. It could have been anything, whatever. But that was a strange event. I didn't smell anything, but it freaked the horse out, whatever it was. You know?
Yeah. I'll tell you how strong the old hairy man there looked, you know?
Yep.
When I was doing a job up there, up in the scrub there, I had to walk up to a men's business site. We came across this pig in the creek, dead, and he had been stabbed in the forehead with a cow horn. And it was stabbed through the heart with a goat horn, and one of his back legs was ripped off.
What would you say that would be?
Or I say that would be a hairy man. It was give us a warning.
Oh, I thought you might have busted him in the middle of hunting.
Yeah, I could have. We could have busted him in hunting. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
but
they must have sheer strength to drive a cow horn into his head and a goat horn through his heart.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're like 2 or 3 times stronger than us.
Yeah. So they are very strong.
Faster. Yeah, they'd be pretty fast too.
To break a limb that round,
yeah,
tree that round, about that round.
I can't see you.
Yeah, about that round.
You started here, remember?
Yeah, I know. Then to break with one of them, you had to have sheer strength.
Yeah, you would. You'd have to have sheer muscle strength. I would say one of their children would be equivalent to stronger than me.
Yeah.
One be stronger than me is an old lady.
Yeah.
Stronger than an old lady. Yeah. Rotman said he's got a few experiences. We might bring you in a little minute, Rotman, if you want to hang around.
Yeah.
So what else, brother? What else did we count out there?
Marsupial lion. That's what I said.
Yeah, the thylacine. Oh, look, we're going to have to get Rotman in a minute. Not the thylacine.
No, not the thylacine.
A marsupial lion.
Well, you've got another name. Very similar to thylacine, but it's not the thylacine.
And is he black?
No, they're not. They're actually sort of brown? Yellowish.
Yellow?
Yellowish.
Like a puma colour or a golden lion?
No. They look like they've got a lion's head, a bear's body, with like cat-like feet. You know them guideposts on the side of the road. You know the white guidepost. Yeah, some call them one-eyed kangaroos. And
yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I'm thinking what? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, his shoulder was about that far above it.
Oh, well, that's pretty big for a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be like up here on me because I'm only small.
Yeah. Well, when I hit him with the headlights on the car.
You hit him?
I hit him with the headlights.
Oh, right, I thought you said.
Okay, if he hit him, I would have bloody destroyed the car there, look. At any rate, he got frightened. He took one jump and he cleared a barbed wire fence without even touching it, straight over the top and gone into the scrub.
Yeah, cats can jump high. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. But I heard stories prior to that. A lot of sheep were gone missing around that area. They were blaming dingoes.
I was going to
But it
ask
was
you
a
that.
marsupial lion. I
Yeah.
seen him. I know
Yeah.
what I seen. And he got a different sort of mouth than like a lion, but he looks like a lion. And on his back, he got like a saddleback, where it's sort of like a chocolate brown. His fur is sort of like a yellowy colour. And it was actually quite a pretty animal to look at, actually, to tell the truth, but he was a bit frightening. Yeah, dead in the middle of the night, you come across that fella, you bloody check your strides real quick, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can always tell with the food. I was going to ask you that. Was there any food evidence around the sheep?
Yeah. And the funny part about that was where I saw him was an old reserve, not too far away from it. The reserve was called Inglebar. And that's where they put the mob. After they took our land off us, they put us in that reserve. It's like a mission.
Yeah, we got
like
relocated mission, which would be a reservation in America. Yeah, but our missions aren't as big as the reservations; they're smaller.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of stuff that they have. We're just chucked on the land. Here's a house, and that could be a tin shack.
Yeah, well, most of them were tin shacks.
Now, yeah, back then they were. They actually progressed to better block houses, you know.
Yeah.
With tin roofs, yeah, and a tin veranda. So they progressed a little bit.
Yeah.
So you reckon that lion, because cats have a certain area, right? They have a large area. You know, all animals have a marked area, most of them, right? Some wander around, but cats especially have a marked area. So a cat being that big would have a very large area.
Yeah, probably a 200-kilometre radius.
Yeah, it'd come back eventually.
Yeah, it'll eventually come back, but yeah. There was actually back in the 90, somebody videotaping on a VHF, one of them creatures down near Port Macquarie. I've been trying to find that video. It was on the news and everything. They even had Parks and Wildlife there having a look at the video to see what it was, and they couldn't figure it out.
I've seen big black cats. Like we used to have a native big black cat.
Oh, the Black Panther.
Yeah, when I've been looking around and for hairy men, I've seen black things with tails, and I've looked at them and gone, oh, that's a kangaroo or a wallaby. And then I've looked again and gone, nah, wrong shape. I wonder what that is, but I've seen a couple of them.
Yeah.
Get nice, you know.
Yeah. The saddest scene I seen was up near Glen Innes. That was 2006.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen one of them. But our mate Robin has.
Yeah, Robin, he's seen them, but I was coming back from Brisbane one night, and I seen this dog on the side of the road, so I slowed down for it. You know, I don't want to hit a dog. You know, poor old dog, he didn't do nothing wrong. And I got a bit closer, and he said, "You're not a dog." I don't know, what the bloody hell are you? So I get home there, and I started looking him up there through the books, and I ended up being an old Tasmanian wolf I was looking at.
Oh, yeah.
I still remember that. Yeah. Then, that's another story too. I got to tell you about the old hairy man.
Well, go on.
The old butcher.
Right there, I've just got to put my cup back on the sink, and I'll be listening. I won't leave you alone this time.
Yeah. Well, yesterday when I had to go to town there, do a bit of shop, get a bit of tucker. Butcher man, he bailed me up, and he was telling me the story there. He said when he was living up at Glen Innes, he said he had his pig dogs there with him. And he said he went out to feed the pig dogs there one night, and he says he heard this growling noise coming out. He's telling me. And he said, oh, must be a bloody koala fighting with another koala or something. Anyway, he didn't take much notice of it. And anyway, a couple of days later, he seen his next door neighbour, and he says, "Is there koalas around here?" And bloke said, no koalas around here. He said, no koalas. He said, there was something there growling at me. And he said, the other night there, he said, I thought it might have been koala. And he said, no koalas around here. And then his face went white, and then he didn't want to say no more. And then that's when old butcher fella said, must have been a hairy man.
Yeah.
Because you come too close, they'll growl at you, or they'll bluff charge you.
Right.
Yeah, the only thing you can do is actually don't show fear.
Don't show fear. Well, we know in the bush that, everyone should know that.
Yeah.
You don't show fear.
Mm.
Anywhere with any animal, especially in the bush. If you get afraid and start freaking out and walking in places you shouldn't, or stumbling or running or anything like that, and you're scared, you're going to get lost or injured just quickly. You all got to keep your senses about you all the time. Hey, Rotman, at the top of chat is the thing to get in. If you want to pop in and tell us your story, you're quite welcome to, my brother.
Yeah, pop in there, brother. Get me off the hook.
I think get you off the hook. Thanks a lot, Ray. Make Carl laugh too. The men are ganging up on me. This is what happens, eh? I'm going to have to get more women in here.
Yeah, get Lily in here.
Lee, I've got to go into my house. That's the problem. How did I do that before? Was that one? 7K it is. Hang on, I think I can do it, Robin. Wait a minute. Copy. Gee,
I've got to say these words, though.
You say it.
Yeah. We provide, you decide.
Yeah.
That's for the captain.
For the captain.
That's for the captain.
Yeah. Cool. So there you are, Robin. If you want to pop in, just setting up his camera is okay. It was playing up. Well, your voice will do if it's playing up. We can just chuck your voice in there. And we'll have Robin come and join us in a minute. I hope you're in a good frame of being. Or shall I say, are you charged up, my brother?
Yeah, you be charging on there, brother.
Nah, he's all right. We love you, Robin.
You there yet?
So anyway, all right. What else have we got here? Because we got stories where if you're in the bush, some places, and you're a woman, and you want to go and to the toilet in the bush, we call it Jillawa or Gilly, right? You have to go with another woman and hold a stick, because there's things out there, if you're by yourself, they'll cause you havoc. So you go with another woman and hold a stick. You both hold one and then a stick, and you go out there and do your business and then come back to the fire. Because it depends on where you are. And if you don't know where you are, it can be really tricky. Hey, brother, Have you been to places where you've just been dumped off and like, where am I? And all this stuff happens? I have. They took me to a massacre site. Yeah, I went to a massacre site. Didn't know it was a massacre site. I wasn't even on the land yet, and my body started swelling up, and it was aching, and I was crying, and I'm thinking, I'm crying, mother, what's happening to me? And I didn't know whether I was in the rainforest. Didn't know whether I had got bitten by something. I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, we got to the place, and it was getting worse. The symptoms were just getting worse and worse and worse. And the people that live there, the lady, she's trying to help me out, and everyone's trying to be really nice and help me. And I'm getting cranky because these feelings are overwhelming by this time. So all I did, I got up, I looked at them all, and I realised they were all trying to help me. So I just ran outside, laid on the ground and cried like a baby and went, mother, what's happening to me? And then all of a sudden, 2 women spirits appeared, 2 Aboriginal women spirits. And they told me what happened. And so while they were telling me what happened, my body started like to shrink down and all the aches and pains went away. I was in a massacre area, and the ones they didn't shoot, they pushed over into the waterfalls and drowned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's very
and
similar up around this way.
no one told me that that's where I was, and that's why I like to know where I'm going now, because I know I get affected. So yeah, got to be careful where you go. I went to another place, bro. They took me to this other place. I don't know. I think it was men's area. I don't know. It was two non-Aboriginal women. They stopped. We were going up to their house up the coast, and they stopped somewhere and went, "Oh, isn't it beautiful? Let's get out and have a look." So they jumps out of the car and runs off across the road. They're going, "Come on, come on, come on!" And I'm in the back seat, and I thought, okay. And I opened the door on and put my feet on the ground and got hiccups, severe hiccups straight away. Then I lifted my feet off the ground and they went away. Put my feet back on the ground and I got them back. And I yelled out, "I can't get out. I'm not allowed to be here. Get back in the car and take me away from here, please." Whatever was, I think I sensed old magic man actually, or something like that. Some spirit that was really strong.
Yeah, clever fella, eh?
Yeah, it was near water and it was a special place. So it wasn't their fault. They didn't know.
Yeah, you better tell them what the clever fella means. Because some people don't understand what mean when we talk about clever fella.
That's our magic people.
Yeah. Which is what's the name they call it overseas? There, shaman, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, or medicine.
Yeah, shaman.
Shaman.
Yeah, we call them clever people.
Kind of thing. Yeah. They do all magical stuff.
Yeah.
So, yep. Yeah, Rotman should be here in a minute. We'll get his story. It looks like you're getting tired, my brother. So after that, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Because I still got a couple of hours up my sleeve for another show. Woohoo! Oh, I'm happy about this. Okay. So when Rotman gets here. So what about, have you seen any big square cut rocks in the bush, or things that look like buildings that shouldn't be there and all derelict, like made out of rock?
Lovely day. Yeah, I've seen heaps of that up in the bush there, look.
Yeah.
And what they call it, what them fellas call it overseas there, megalith or monolith.
Monoliths?
Which one? Yeah, monolith.
Monolith.
It's a rock there just down the road here. He made a granite. He squared that way. He squared that way. He squared at the front, but he's natural at the back.
Oh.
Hey, how you going, brother?
Hey, brother, how you going?
Good. Yeah. Good to see you, Donny. Long time no see. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still alive.
G'day.
Yeah. Same here. Still battling on. Pretty cool. You got it set up. I see it. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, it's all Luna's fault.
Yeah, it's my fault, blame me.
Yeah, it's all Luna's fault.
Yeah.
I'm out. Look out. Everybody run. Yeah, because I rang him up and he helped me. So you can blame him.
Didn't know I was going to be on this here, look.
Yeah,
and Carl's sitting in the background going, "Oh, is this really going to happen? Oh, is this good?"
My camera's going shit. I don't know what's wrong.
So my brother.
Oh, you'll be right. I can see you.
Yeah.
Look down at your camera, not like up there.
Yeah, there it is.
It's weird. I shifted the caravan around where I have my computer and that, and then the camera's never been the same since. That's weird. And then the base of it fell off too the other day. So it was wobbling everywhere anyway, so
you sure you didn't trip over it, Dave?
Nah, it's just you know, I don't know, made in China, mate. No, I don't think it's made in China. But it's I don't know what happened. But yeah, thylacines, we're talking about that, hey. Use work, yeah. That's pretty interesting.
Honest, bro. Tell us your story.
I haven't seen one since it was 2020. I think it was about February, and I saw two thylacines. I didn't know, I was watching these kangaroos, and then suddenly these two thylacines walked out of the bush, because across the road from me is the bush, and I'm right on the outskirts of town, and I was going, well, they look a bit different than the kangaroos, and then I wasn't sure if they were dogs, and then I saw one of them sort of stand up on its hind legs like a kangaroo, and then go back on all fours, and it was like it spotted me, and then they both darted back into the bush. They're really alert, these things.
Don't
And it
blame
was
them.
beautiful. It's like, wow, I just saw, a creature that I've hoped is still alive for all my life. I was obsessed by them. And suddenly ended up living in a town. I'd only been there a few months, and yeah, then I found, this guy comes past, Jimmy. He told me he's riding on his bike, and he said, yeah, me and my son saw a thylacine 2 weeks ago come out of the bush, and pointed exactly where I'd seen them. I go, wow, I just saw two last week. And he goes, yeah, oh, good, And then I found out a lot of locals here have seen them, but they just don't talk about it. They want to keep it a bit of a secret, I guess. But it doesn't matter. No one gives a fuck. They're too worried about wearing a muzzle and pleasing the government and QR coding in.
Yeah, none of that here, brother. No politics, no. Yeah. This is my world you're in now. Those things.
Oh, that's
How big was the
Yeah, I'll be careful what I say.
Ken? How big was the thylacine? Do you reckon? How tall was
It
he?
was like about the size of a greyhound. About that size.
Oh, the one I seen was a little bit bigger than a bloody blue heeler.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're about that size, eh?
Yeah, they're sort of like across.
Yeah.
Between a blue heeler and in between that size, exactly.
Yeah.
They weren't gigantic or no, just like
No.
you're looking at a sort of a dog size thing. Yeah.
You ever been towards Glen Innes?
No.
Yeah,
Up on the Queensland border there.
Yep.
Where is it?
Queensland border there.
I've been
Place
to
called
Queensland.
It's in the mountain.
Yeah,
Kind of.
in the mountains here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been up past Gympie and all that. The glass house.
No. But back on the New South Wales side there. Look.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, Glen Innes, then you got Tenterfield, then you got Stamford, Warwick, and Toowoomba.
Oh, yeah. We got a Warwick here. I grew up in Warwick, a place just up the road here, in the 60s.
I knew a fella named Warwick.
Yeah. We've got a place, Warrigal, here, which means meeting place,
Warrigal, yeah.
Warrigal greens are a food.
Yeah.
So, I never seen, I haven't
Urella. Urella means meeting place too.
Oh, yeah.
Urella, yeah.
There's this place, Bryagalong, it used to be a meeting place for the mob then, and it still is, really. It's like this, I forgot what the river's called, the Avon, I think, and it runs down from the mountains and ends up going past this town, Bryagalong, Stratford, and then further up's Bryagalong, and then just up there's all these. So many people are seeing yowies up in the mountains there. Yeah, it's on the way to the Alps, the high country.
That's what we call it.
Country,
yeah. Because I've never seen any down this way, but I know they must like the high country for sure.
Because another one, or something like that, they got different again. They got red eyes.
Yeah. You got Dulagar, Yahoo, Yuri, Yowie, Yowie.
Different things.
They got all sorts of names, but all the same fella.
Same
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I heard Hairy Man before I heard the word Yowie. Like, I didn't hear the word Yowie till sort of late 70s, really. I used to know him as the
Yeah.
Hairy Man, yeah.
Yeah, they sort of changed it because
Then they made a commercial, didn't they? They brought out Yowie chocolate things and.
Yeah, Cadbury Cow Yowie, yeah. Well,
I thought it was a good
but
idea.
it's actually Yowie. Yowie.
Yowie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yowie.
not with
Which
an
is
I.
WAYWI. Yowie. And then there
Oh,
was
yeah.
the Yahoo.
I've heard of the
And then
Yahoo too. Yeah.
yeah. Then some would call them Dulagar. Down around
Yeah.
around Victoria, they call them the Dulagar.
Mm.
I can't think. There was quite
Because
a
I
few
lived
names.
in some really remote places in Victoria when growing up. You know, I was in a place near Albury, Wodonga, but like 40 miles away, and up toward as you're going towards the mountains, and there was all
Yeah.
these valleys there, and there's a human weir. But yeah, that's when I had my experience with. I never actually saw them. I used to hear them, and then I'd head towards them, and I'd go through this valley and up the mountains, and as soon as I get to where they were, the sound had come from the other side of the valley. It was like the shit stir of it.
Yeah.
Playing games.
What's the one they call with the dog face?
Oh, well, I just call them the dog people. But yeah, I've done a bit of research.
Over in America, they got a special name for it. What they
Oh
want with the
yeah,
dog?
like they used to live alongside humans and everything. They used to wear clothes.
Yeah, I've been doing
It's
it's
like, well, there's a time when people used to live with dog people.
It was, man.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you a story there because an old elder told me. One day I showed old elder one of them dog face ones, and
Yeah.
he looked at it and he says, "Screaming lady of the New England," and he wouldn't say no more. And so there's. And then there's old stories about what they call the dingo man. You ever heard of the old stories about the dingo man?
No,
Yeah.
no.
I heard that.
But they got what the American fellas call them? They got a name for them.
Dog people. Dog man.
Dog man, yeah, dog man, isn't it?
Yeah. I was originally going to call myself Dog Man, and then I decided Rottweiler, Rotman,
Yeah.
I get that.
Well, apparently there's some up around the New England up here. According to that elder, this is also the same elder, he was telling me a story. He reckoned it was quite funny at the time. He reckoned it frightened the daylights out of him. But when he was younger.
Cigarettes, these dog people.
Yeah. And he was working on this property just out of town here, out that way. And he said he had to go down to the hay shed. And he said he'd come around the corner of the hay shed and he's heading towards, where the opening of the hay shed. And he got around the corner and he was met up with a hairy man. He said he didn't know which one got the biggest fright, the hairy man or him. He said he took off one way and the hairy man took off the other way.
Well, I've never heard of anyone being hurt by a hairy man. They've been scared.
But there is some bad ones. Always, you've got good ones, and it's like everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, hairy man. Yeah.
Because there's all these stories throughout history how giants were all cannibals. Not cannibals, but they used to eat people.
Yeah.
Like rip their heads off. I think that was bullshit to make us think that, we didn't all used to get along,
Yeah.
I mean, there could have been skirmishes, of course, in the early days. And like, when they went against all those cities, the Israelites, they were like grasshoppers, you know. So they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
going
yeah.
against giants, you know.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I
there
guess, you know,
isn't.
over the years they all got over it, and a lot of the giants got killed in battle and things like that
Yeah,
over history.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Well, I'm
got
trying to find a photo.
about
There
giants.
was a photo taken years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It was at a mission, and they wanted this hairy man to be in the photo, so they
I've seen that one,
stuck him
yeah.
in. Yeah, and they put him in a three-piece suit
Yeah.
and got him to stand with all the mob there. And the cameraman didn't see him and he took a photo, but there was a hairy man amongst them with a three-piece suit. They put him in a three-piece.
I've seen that. That's brilliant, that one.
Yeah, I saw a photo online in America where old time one with the big trees. They had the big logs sitting behind them, and all the loggers were sitting there having a photo. And off on the right corner, up the back, was a big hairy man and popped his head over to get in the photograph. What do they call that?
1932.
They didn't
That
even
happened
notice.
down in. Yeah.
Hey, sorry, bro, what was that? Yeah. Anyway, hairy man photo bombed the photo.
Yeah.
If I could share my
Yeah.
screen, I would do it now, but I don't want to like muck around.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that
read a
happened in
story. Sorry, Donny. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that happened around 1932 out in Lake Hall.
Yeah. So not too
Yeah.
long ago, really, you know.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
after
really.
they made out the thylacines are all extinct. Yeah.
Yeah.
They tried to
I've
make
got to
out
go for a sec.
Yep.
Go for a sec. I'll be back in a
worries.
little while.
All right,
I was just
how long's
gonna.
a little while? Is that like up the road?
No, I've got a phone call coming in. That's all.
Oh, all right, okay.
Cheers.
No worries. I'll talk to Ken about giants.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
with
so
the Giants.
Ken, what started me on the giants? We got giant campsite, traditional campsite with giant grinding stones and stuff like that. And I looked one day and I found stories about giants from our mob and stuff like that, right? And I thought, oh, I wonder if there's giants in the rest of the world. I better have a look here. So as I started looking, the more I looked, the more I found, my brother.
Everywhere, yeah.
They're everywhere. And the buildings is what fascinated me the most because they've got giant doorways.
Giant doors that are 30, 40 foot high.
Yeah. And you know what else has intrigued me? In all the churches that we know weren't originally churches, there's little stairs going up in a spiral. Then there's a little platform with some, what do they call them? Columns with a roof, and it's up high, like halfway up the church wall. And when you ask, they tell you, oh, that's so the priest can talk to everyone. I thought, no, the priest stands out the front.
Down on everyone, but he was probably
talking really
to giants.
Cool. Yeah, they were so people could walk up and be eye level to the giants, and they could speak to you. Otherwise, you had to yell, right?
Exactly. Well, I've seen photos of these ancient buildings and steps leading up to them. They got these gigantic steps where people have to climb up, and then next to it, there's normal human steps. You know, it's like it's plain as day. Those steps were the giants, and those were for the little people, us.
And what about the fireplaces with the mirror way beyond our height? It's like that was for them to look in the mirror.
Yeah,
and the windows are that huge. Well, that's for them to look out of, not for because they start like halfway up the wall.
That's right, they do, don't they? You can't
the handles
look out.
on the doors are up here.
Yeah.
And I'm little as it is, so I can imagine being giant.
And who helped lay those big giant bricks? It wasn't just with cranes and things.
Yeah, that's right, eh?
No, I've heard they're still on the Solomon Islands. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that. I actually heard a story, brother, back in the war that the Japanese, the Aussie soldiers were sent up to there to stop the Japanese coming in. When the Aussie soldiers got there, they found everything laying around and then like guns and that, and there was no sign of the soldiers. And when they asked the locals what happened to the Japanese soldiers, they said the giants ate them.
Yeah. It was like, we don't need to take over this joint. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they reckon that even the locals don't go in certain places because they know
Nah,
the
yeah,
giants are there.
that's what I've heard. There's places.
And I'll tell you something else. When I go on Google, what's it called? You look from the air. I said it earlier. I'm just getting late.
Google Maps, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I've looked through the bush, right, and I've come to two conclusions. The first conclusion is that whoever is in charge of Google Maps puts pictures of people's faces in certain areas where they don't want people to see, and then put those tree stamps over the top. And I've seen like eyes peeking out of the bush like this, looking up, right? And that's what I thought. Oh, someone's been a smart ass and they put a picture of themselves in there and covered it over a bit because they're covering up that area and they're bored. And if you look hard enough, you'll see it. Either that, and they're having a joke on us, or they're actually giants looking up through the trees at the thing going over while it's taking photos, right?
Yeah.
Why do I
Because I
keep
want Google Maps a lot. I love checking out all the different places. But isn't it funny? You still can't go over the Antarctic. You have to go around the other way. You go a little bit into the Antarctic, and then you have to go all the way around the world to go the other side of it. It's like, what? You can't go right. You can go across the North Pole, not that there is one, but and then you can go right around to the bottom again. We're meant to be on the bottom, and you can't go over it. And then when you do see the Antarctic, it's all blurred out. It's just nothing.
Yeah, I know.
You can't tell where the mountains are half the time. Just white.
Yeah, there's a lot of tricky. I was looking the other day.
They're whited it, they got the white pen and whited it out,
Yeah, I was looking the other day.
They had to show the green valleys and
they had a big black line, and I'm thinking, wow, they've done
right
stuff
across the ocean. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, and it gets me, bro.
They haven't even fixed it. Like people were talking about 10 years ago, it's still there. That big crack.
Yeah, I
in
know.
the earth, more or less.
Having a joke on
us. You can see something weird below it. You can't make it out.
Yeah, and you always can tell when there's hiding something. I found stuff. Lucky I've took a bit of evidence of it, and hopefully in the future, when I learn how to use all this, I can share stuff with you. I've found stuff, taken a picture of it and put away, gone back later to the same place, and they've blurred it over.
Yeah.
And it's like they follow you, where if someone keeps looking in the same area, they'll blur it out.
It's like Hall's Gap, Pine Gap. You go there and they make out it's just this. There's nothing much there, just these big dome things, and that I used to live nearby. Those dome things, they're deadly. Satellite dome, communication planes, technology stuff.
Well, what gets me, Ken, is they reckon that they can see someone in their home, like it's that powerful, they can see someone in their home, right? I thought,
tell what lights you got on.
Yeah. So looking around the bush, you actually can see birds, right? You can see birds and kangaroos as clear as a bell. But then you'll move a little bit over to the left or right, and all of a sudden it's all blurred out, and it's like I can just make out that there's something that shouldn't be there. And you know that there is something there because they're blurred it out, and you go a couple of centimetres over and it's clear as a bell, and you can see
that all over it. Yeah, all over Google Maps. You've got these blurred out bits.
They're trying to cover it up, and by doing that, they're actually telling you there's something here. We're trying to cover it up.
Yeah, it's
I've noticed from a couple of years ago to now, a lot's been covered up. Because I started a couple of years ago looking when it was all fresh and nice, right? And you could actually find stuff. Still finding stuff, but I'm not saying where it is because I'll go and cover it up.
That's it. They don't want people having, an exploratory, adventurous spirit these days. Everything's been explored. They don't want us to discover anything else.
Actually, it's
all been discovered according to them.
The national park near Queensland, it's called something national park, but they've got in brackets scientific. And because it says scientific, I thought that means they're still exploring it, right? So I zoomed in, man, you should see some of the stuff I found. Whoa. So I'm not mentioning the name of the park.
Yeah.
But Yeah, there's stuff
I
there.
remember
But
this
I haven't
place.
gone through it yet.
I went to some place in Queensland, walked through, for a couple of miles through this tropical jungle, and you end up these beautiful waterfalls, and you could overlook the whole valley. It's like the most incredible place. Sheep Goat Falls, it was called. Sheep Goat Falls.
Oh, yeah.
They must have
Haven't we
chucked.
got some weird names
They
for
must
things?
have,
Some
don't
of
know
the
why
weird
it's
names.
called Sheep Goat Falls. They must have chucked sheep and goats over the falls.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Waterfalls.
or they kept running away and going there.
But
But
it
haven't
was
we
a
got weird
beautiful
names for things
place.
here in Australia? Like
I've
the
got
some of the names
photos of
of
it.
creeks and that make you laugh.
Yeah.
They just make you
Oh,
laugh.
we got Cannibal Creek here, Killer's Creek, there's all these names
I
for
know.
creeks, but it's like,
It's like,
God,
do
something
we take
bad
that
must have
literally or
happened
what?
there. Like, that
Is
must
what
be
they
a
trying to
pretty
tell us
bad
something?
place. Yeah,
Oh,
like in America, they got places named after the devil and Satan, like Satan's fucking hill or something. I don't know. Oh, God.
pity Donny left because I didn't get to thank him for coming on the show.
Yeah, he had a phone
We got
call.
15 minutes and then it's 2 hours and then we'll leave.
How long have you been on, Luna?
It'll be 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh,
So,
I
we're
thought you
coming up
just
to the
started
second
when
hour. It's all right because it was my first experiment. I rang poor Donny and go, hey, bro, I need you to try and do this. He goes, I'm your guinea pig, am I? And I'm like, yeah, but I also want you on the show, So
I was going to ask you about. I've got a video I did like 4 years ago, and I found this pile of stones in the middle of a river, piled up, and I filmed it and all that, and then all these people afterwards told me it was a Yowie did that. They do these big piles in the river of rocks.
We do pile, well, in our culture, we do piles of rocks. They tell you stuff about who's there, how many, and all that stuff. In the water, because the water is neutral.
That would have been a lot of Yowies if every stone was, because it was like no human would have just sat there putting this. I've got the video of it, Luna. I could actually.
It's not a fish trap, is it?
No, it's just in the centre of.
It's just a
where
pile.
2 rivers meet. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it would have been a message.
I've got a video of it, but I don't know if you're too tired or anything. But...
Oh no, you can share. We still got time, bro. You can do that. I don't have to do anything. I
could even show the file. Oh, I can go to my YouTube. I upload it there. Share screen. I've just got to set it up on YouTube first on my channel.
You're right, bro.
Because it was on the old channel, and someone saying, "Hey, where's that video where I was in it?" Because I got a mate in there. I got in the mow the lawn the other day, Dicko, and we go the river with my dog Ivy when she was still alive, and it's good. I like going to rivers all around We've got some beautiful rivers here,
Yeah, we have.
There's a place called the Quarries, and it's really a sacred place. I can tell, And I meet some of the young Indigenous there. They go down there and swim every summer, and real cool kids.
You know, my brother, I thought we had a lot of water here in Australia, and then my brother went to America and brought photos back, and I looked at one body of water and nearly fell over, and I'm like, man, that looks like an ocean, and realised we actually don't have much water here at all.
they're channeling it off, I guess.
Oh, no, it'll come back.
No, we're going to sell this bit to China.
No, don't worry. They got it. Mother's got it under control. The water's coming back. Remember we used to have an ocean in the middle of Australia?
Yeah, the inland
sea. It's coming back. Yeah. She's coming back. We can go swimming there. We're going to see our front lawn can go into the ocean and have sea views. Get out to the desert now.
Have you watched the channel Tartarian Truthers? The two
Yeah,
girls?
they're awesome, them girls.
They did a video about it. That was the last video they've done. Yeah, inland sea.
Inland sea. Yep, I saw that. That was yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, I said to my friend, I said to her, we should be doing this. This was before they did theirs. I said, this is what we should be doing. And she's like, because she's never been on this platform before, and she was really nervous and everything. And I'm like, oh, pity. And then before I know it, they were doing it. I said to her the other day, I said, look, they're doing it. We should have done it. But yeah, she hasn't got the confidence to get up. Yeah, I'm getting her there. I'm getting her.
I used to be shy when I'd go on show. I used to go on Paranormal Portal and all these other paranormal type shows. And,
yeah.
I'm trying to find this.
Bro. You get Mozzies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're bad down here, but
in Australia,
starting to slow down. Yeah.
If anyone ever comes to Australia and you're allergic to Mozzies, bring an armory with you of things to get rid of them and stop them from biting you.
Yeah.
That's one thing my mob hasn't told me. What do I use for mob besides smoke? Actually, they have it. You can use smoke and ochre and stuff, but I can't put smoke in my house unless I want to run around and paint it up 24/7.
Oh, those coils, they can be a bit
overpowering.
Yeah.
You found it yet?
They work, but
I'd be like one of them kids in the back seat. Have you found it yet? Have you found it yet? Have you found it yet?
I'm trying.
No, you're right, bro. Take your time.
I need new glasses. I got a letter yesterday saying that it's been 2 years since my eyesight appointment at the glasses place, spectacles. And, I should really come in, get my eyes checked, and I'm going, fuck that. My eyes are fine. Nah. Here it is.
I found it.
Finally. God. Hang on, I'll just... I used to do intros. I've got to start doing intros again.
Yeah, I don't know how to do anything like that, people. So my shows are going to be boring when it comes to technical visual stuff.
I'm really good at editing. I've done editing for so long now. It's crazy. Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
I'll just enlarge it. Should have been enlarged anyway. Everything goes slow sometimes.
Oh, do I have to click that for you? Yeah, I do, don't I?
Yeah, you got to add it. That's right.
I worked it out.
Hang on, is that too loud? Satan, the state.
Those rocks might be hurting your feet a bit. Come on, bro, come in the water. Come on. He just doesn't want to go in the water. Hey, Dicko, that pile of rocks, that's not natural, is it? No, I don't remember that being there before. Oh, someone's going all the trouble putting a pile of rocks in the river. They must be, have a lot to do each day. A lot of time on the hands, I guess.
Or the yowie.
Yeah, be a yowie. Right, this is yowie country, isn't it? You've seen one, haven't you? Yeah. Lake's entrance. Wow. What'd it look like?
About my build. Reddish hair.
Reddish, yep.
Smell weird.
Yeah.
Quite musty. Like a wet dog musty smell.
Oh, yeah, I love the smell of wet dog. It's nice.
Weird.
Oh, yeah. It's like a real bushy feral smell, huh? Bruno, come on! Bruno, get out of there! Snakes! Come on! Bruno, get out! Quick! Look out!
Tiger
Snakes! Snakes! Come on, buddy. You don't want to drink water? Yeah, come on, mate. Let's go to water for a minute. What's that? Yeah. No, I ain't going to water, bugger.
He's scared of water.
I think he's scared of water. You know. So drink, buddy. Bruno, are you scared of the water? The water, mate. Yeah. Alright. Good. The water, mate. Yeah. Alright.
Repeat.
Good. Nice water, mate. Nice water. Alrighty. You like that?
See those rock poles?
Yeah, did you notice there's two long ones on each side of it?
Yeah.
See, there's a long one there and a long one on the other side.
Hang on.
It was placed there like that on purpose. Yeah. They're purposely placed because you
Yeah.
can see they put two long ones on each side. See, on the left and right of the mound, there's a long one. I wish Donny was in.
Alrighty. You like that?
So there's one there on that side, and then when you go over,
one?
see that one? Yeah, that one, and then there's one on the other side as well. And see how it's got a big rock in the front,
Yeah. That one.
and it's kind of wider. It's like an egg shape.
They're all different shapes, every one of them, aren't they?
Yeah, the mound's like an egg shape, and you've got two long rocks on each side, and one that main rock in the front there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different. And it is
It's
a mound.
like I was down there like a few months before, and it was just flowing. Nothing like that was there, you know. And
Because they, I know we do that to catch fish. Yeah, so it's made them, it's narrowed.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard of that. How you can do that? Yeah.
Yeah, but modern day people wouldn't do that anymore.
Nah, it's too
We
much
got no
work.
need. We got fish traps down the river here. Eel traps they are. They're built different though, but they are around still, the old ones. But that wasn't there before, so someone's built that. Yeah. And I can't imagine the kids do that. I don't, kids can sit there and do stuff, but I can't imagine they still do that.
can get in.
Nah, they're hardly ever down there. The kids in that town, you know,
Yeah.
they're not getting out enough.
Wow. Well, that was
I
interesting.
know the town. I know all them towns well.
I'm hoping Donny will watch that and maybe comment on it, or someone will.
Yeah.
And yeah, let us know what it is.
I had to have Bruno on a lead because it was real snake season. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're everywhere around this area.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, because of water. You know, they need the water.
That's what catfish in the fall better. And you make the vibration and they feel it and they move away.
This is before I got Annie. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Hey.
That's why you had a spare seat, right?
Same with the.
Someone said he looks like a fella from Trailer Park.
Yeah, Ricky.
That's funny, Don.
Ricky.
I was thinking of shifting to up here because of escape from cell towers, but not much chance of that.
Oh, well, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark now.
Yeah.
In 1 minute. Yeah.
How long does this go for? 7 minutes, 48.
Anyway, we're heading into the quaint little town of Bryagalong.
Hey, look at our trees. When I watch a movie, you can tell if they're filmed in Australia.
Let's go on and on, Bryagalong. We're going to brag along about this, and we did this, and we caught that fish. Here we are. Beautiful. Where are you going? The foothills of the mountains. And, yeah, here you go.
It's funny them saying mountains go all the way up to my house.
Foothills dance.
Yeah.
Foothills workshops.
Hey, we can send messages through the mountain
Well,
up,
just
up
so
and down the
everybody
coast
else,
with
I'll
good
tell you
donny as
inside
well.
that foothills. What the foot's
Yep.
going on? And this is it. This is Raggy.
I love my country, eh?
Raggy.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? You know, I just love the
Raggy
land.
along and the billabongs and the bunyip pots.
Yeah, bunyips. That's a
Oh, the
very.
bunyip at the water, yeah.
And here we are up
Yeah, I reckon they're still around.
side road.
Some places where there's
The one
water
I was
through
leaving
here,
all
it's
the
around.
rubber.
Very
You don't
elusive
want water.
See a
critters.
rubber on the
Yeah.
road. Yeah, that's right. That poor guy. He's got to go home and
They're
get
sort of like the kelpie.
Yeah. Yep, same, yeah. The water dog.
This is Dicko's haunted house.
Yeah, this house was haunted.
Nice little
Was it? Oh, we'll do another show about spooky shit.
drink
Yeah.
there. What over here?
I can walk past the house and look at it from the street and tell you straight away if there's a spirit in there.
Yeah, I can pick it straight away if I'm in
Is
it.
that the house with the spirit in it, that one? That's a shop.
No, that was the pub.
Oh, that's a
I
pub.
didn't
Is
show
that,
much.
is that your pub?
Braggy pub. Yeah. Good pub, actually. It's good. You know, used to go there often. We'd do country pub calls. Had a designated driver. You know, it's good times back in the old
yeah.
days. This area.
I don't drive, so I never had to worry about that stuff.
No, we had a sober mate. It was so handy during the 80s and 90s.
Oh, look at kangaroos. We saw kangaroos.
Yeah. See that eagle? That eagle's still around, and that video is probably
All right, we're back. We're back.
5
now,
years old. But yeah, but I've been watching that eagle for 20 years now, and it's mate. You know, there's two of them. That same area, and then the other day I'm driving to town, and hang on, I'll go.
Yeah, show us your face, man. So I'm not talking to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Thanks.
So you're not talking to a circle, you know. There, and you know, I was going to town the other day, and then I saw this dead. I thought it was a hawk at first, and then I stopped, and it was an owl, been hit by a car.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, if I was there, I would have took all the feathers out and made something.
Yeah.
I got owl wing and that. They got really soft feathers.
I took it off the road, you know, and I had to do that a few months back. This hawk had been hit by a car at the exact same spot.
Oh, I'm living in the wrong place.
And all these kangaroos get killed along this same. It's like a 3-mile section of the road, and every week you see a dead wombat, a dead kangaroo, and the council can't think of how to do an underpass instead of.
Yeah, right.
It's an area they're always going to go across, and they put these guardrails that are like 4 foot high. Oh yeah, that's going to stop any animal. God.
Go and drop a bag of dirt or something there, so there's cars have to slow down.
And it's Easter, so I know next time going to town, I'm going to see all these new dead kangaroos.
Oh, don't tell me that.
It pisses me off.
Oh,
I get that angry, you know.
don't do that. Yeah.
Because they don't know to slow down, you know. It should be all lit up at night, that area, you know. Oh, the council's too cheapskate.
We haven't got signs here for ducks crossing the road. There's little duck signs, so when you're driving.
Oh, we got the signs, you know, kangaroo.
Yeah, when you're riding along.
Yeah.
Watch out for the ducks. Well, anyway, Ken, it's been. I'm really glad that you dropped in.
Been good. Oh, I thought you'd only been on for an hour.
No, it's 2 hours now. I want to save
but,
hours.
I should chill out too, and you know, just.
I might be back on tomorrow, hoping, because I want to get Naysay on. And yeah, and so people can ask him questions and stuff. So I'll try and do that tomorrow morning, maybe, because I'm trying to share time with the North and Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, that's right. You got to get up early for that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to get Naysay on. We'll have a show called Blind Truth with Naysay, and people can ring in. I'm hoping I'm going to get him on anyway, and
Excellent.
hoping that'll be. We'll see how it goes. So people
Yeah.
can come in and talk to him and ask him questions. I got questions to ask him myself after the other day about the mounds and that over there and the giants.
Yeah.
So yeah. So and thank you, Donny, if you're watching the end of this because you had to go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, brother, for coming. And
You'll probably go back and rewatch, the last bit.
Yeah, I want to thank you. And
So,
thanks you
cheers,
for
Donny.
watching.
Good to talk to you again, buddy. And yep.
Yes.
Yeah, Lou.
Yeah, Luke, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I'll have to
Great-
see you back again.
great
We can
being
have some
there.
more conversation. Maybe we can talk about more about giants and stuff.
Yeah, I never get sick of that subject.
I hope I can get my screen share worked out so we can see stuff. How did you do that anyway? I'll ring you up and talk to you about it.
Yeah.
All right then, my brother.
I thought I had to share and then you had to add. I don't know.
No, it just come up on my screen and I just had to.
Oh, did it?
Press it
I
like a visitor coming in. Yeah.
Because I haven't done this often on someone else's stream, but we're
right,
good.
then.
Oh, geez.
Cool. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're working
All right,
it out.
everyone. I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank our guests for coming on. Thank Creator for making it all possible. And I love you on this day. Yep, and we'll see you next time on with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lou.
Excellent.
Thanks, Jim.
Cheers. Good night, everyone.